The Belfast Blitz. Most of Great Britain's population know about it, and everyone who lives in Belfast should know about it. During the Second World War, Belfast was an industrial city, a city which supplied the war effort with tanks, boats, and even some planes. The Germans bombed it to cease weapon making for the Allied forces, consisting mainly of Great Britain and America. Though specific targets were given to German bombers, they didn't care where their bombs landed, and due to technology not being as good, some bombs were hand-dropped and missed the factories which were targeted. Many buildings were destroyed, and parts of estates were obliterated to bricks and rubble, and they were not meant to be targeted by the German forces. Due to this being less than 100 years ago, some who seen this still live to this day, and it won't be forgotten too quickly by the population of Belfast. During the bombing, some bombs didn't just blow up buildings, but made them burn too. Many Belfast mornings were already smoke-filled, with smoky air due to factories, but buildings were even worse when they caught fire after being bombed. This little box that you can see on screen was a common household item during the World War for many countries. Inside, a civilian gas mask was found, and during air raids, gas was one of the two things German bombers might be dropping: bombs or mustard gas. Though never needed, plenty of houses had them, just in case. Many types were produced as well, as the most common being the third picture of it, as seen on the video. Nowadays, old houses may hold old gas masks and respirators in the attic. Now unsafe to wear most of the time, as chemicals can leak from the old respirators, and you may end up breathing in asbestos particles. Asbestosis being an infection of the lungs, quite common in older generations of 60 years or older, due to it only being discovered in the 1960s, and to this day, people still get claims, so I wouldn't put them on if I was you. Now this scary looking thing was a gas mask for babies who wouldn't keep a normal gas mask on. It was a bulky, expensive, and even then doesn't look like it would work too good, due to the massive hole at the bottom for the legs as seen in this representation with the doll. It does not hold much air in, and gas looks like it could easily enter through the leg area. Some people have speculated that civilian gas masks had limited capabilities and was just to keep the public feeling safe about possible gas attacks due to mustard gas invasions in World War I. Luckily they were never needed, and really, did they really need them at all? Probably not, so the government might not have made them the most effective of gas masks. During the day, life went on as normal in the city of Belfast, except from the skeletons of burnt-out buildings bombed the nights before. People, like in many countries, got on with their daily lives as normal, trying to cancel out any war impacts on their city. This device in the image is an air raid siren. When an air raid was taking place, or going to take place, an unlucky man like this had to walk on the streets, turning round the handle, making the siren noise. During this time, the people of Belfast took their gas masks and went to their garden bunkers called the Anderson Shelter, or went under the stairs. Carrickfergus Castle was used as a communal air raid shelter during World War II. Not much is known about it being an air raid shelter, but most of the town went to it when the sirens sounded. Please listen carefully and enjoy the siren noise that would have been sounded in the streets of Belfast during an air raid. The Anderson shelter was an air raid shelter built in the garden of a family home. It was made from 6 iron sheets bolted together at the top and steel panels bolted at each end. They were small and quite uncomfortable as seen in some of the pictures. The dimensions were 6 foot 6 inches by 4 foot 6 inches. Heaped on top was a lot of earth to mask up the shelter. Please note that the Anderson shelter was halfway underground, as I failed to mention that before. Would have gathered in the Anderson shelter during air raids and hid there until morning or until the air raid siren stopped, or at least the exploding noises. This is a Stormont Building, nowadays, at least. But during the Second World War, the building was painted grey or black, mostly to cloud itself from being bombed by German bombers, just to mix that in, because that is a fact. It was painted grey, and that was the reason, just to cloud itself, as it is a political building in Northern Ireland. So this is the end of the video, guys. For more Northern Ireland history videos, please subscribe. I will be posting more or less every Saturday with a new history video like this one. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all later, and I hope you enjoyed this video, as it was pieced together in about an hour. Goodbye.